An independent commission chose a map this week, redrawing Colorado's congressional districts and establishing the state's new 8th district. Based on voter registration, 3 of those districts favor Republicans, 3 favor Democrats. And the new district is a toss-up. 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor joins us live to talk more about this new map. Good morning, Whitney.
Hey, good morning, Natasha. Good to see you.
Likewise. So let's start with the final map being proposed by the commission. In addition to that 8th seat, how else does this proposed map differ from the current districts?
Right. So currently we have 7 districts. And so the new independent commission, based on population and based on the census, they had to draw this new 8th congressional district. So as you mentioned, that is obviously a big change. Otherwise, it's not significant changes as the districts are currently drawn. So we have right now 7 congresspeople in Colorado, 4 Democrats and 3 Republicans. For the most part, those districts are going to stay the same. Ed Perlmutter, his district may get a little tougher. He's a Democrat. They're bringing in a few more conservative counties. Lauren Boebert, who's a Republican, her district is probably going to get a little easier for her. It's probably going to get more Republicans. So those are the major changes. It's fairly the same regarding the other 7, but the 8th is going to be just north of Denver. And we'll see what happens in that new congressional district.
I also want to talk about that new congressional district, the 8th one. If this version is approved, what will be its demographics and who has expressed interest in running for this new district?
Well, it's going to be interesting, and it should be a competitive district. And that's what I think folks wanted, that it wasn't heavily leaning one side or the other. And so here it is going to be north of Denver going into Greeley. They're estimating that the Democrats would have a slight edge, maybe about 1.3%. And right now there have been people throwing their names out. I think the person who's most serious about it and is seemingly the front runner is State Representative Yadira Caraveo. And she announced her intention to run, and she currently represents Adams County. Now, the 8th district, what else is going to be interesting about that is it should be about 35% Hispanic. So I know a lot of Hispanic leaders were happy about the district being drawn where there's a conglomerate that can vote together.
Right. So what happens in terms of timeline? What happens next to finalize this process?
Right. So this was actually the 3rd map that the commission drew. They went all across the state. They met with a number of different people, put in a ton of hours. And so they came up with this actual 3rd version that all of them, well, it was an 11-to-1 vote. There was just one person, one of the commissioners, who didn't agree with it. So it'll go to the Supreme Court now, and the Supreme Court has until November 1st to approve it. And if they do approve it, then that will be the new districts. And if they don't, then the commission will get it again, and they'll hold public hearings and try to address whatever the concerns of the courts were.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the commission worked as it was intended?
That's a great question. And I think it did, because remember, the reason why we came up, this was a 2018 voter referendum that established these independent commissions, because across the country, there had been, racial and partisan gerrymandering where people were drawing districts in all different kinds of ways to try and get their party or their person in. So here, the idea was that we'd have this independent commission. It was made up of 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, and 4 unaffiliated voters. And the idea was to draw a fair map. And I think the fact that they came up with 11-to-1, that it actually did work. It took out some of the partisanship. There were struggles. There were threatened lawsuits and a small lawsuit earlier. But overall, I think the commissioners are happy, and I think the process definitely worked.
All right, we'll have to see it all the way through. Whitney Traylor, nice to see you. Thanks so much.
All right, good to be here.